Hey guys, it's Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today is part of our 30-day gift giving series. We're going to be talking about how to make something that I've seen floating around on Pinterest quite a bit, and I've only seen links to people selling them. I haven't actually seen a link of how to make it, but I think it's probably going to be a pretty simple project. We are going to be making the, I don't know what to call these. They're like a piece of wood, and people have wrapped either a ribbon or fabric around it in the shape of a cross. So I have quite a few friends that are Christian and might appreciate this, as well as some family members. So I thought it might be a good gift to cover. Alrighty guys, so for our supplies, we're going to need a piece of wood. You can use a piece of wood, whatever size you want to make yours. However, you want it to be thinner, or thin and long. So for mine, I am using a piece of plywood. It's a real thin piece because it'll be lighter to hang, which I like. This one is 17 inches tall by 9¼ inches wide. I'm also going to be using some fabric, or you can use ribbon. I may use ribbon depending if I can find any, but usually I can. We're also going to be putting hangers on them. You can use a D-ring. With this particular wood, I cannot because it's too thin to put the screw in. So I'm going to be using hooks. These things, they're wonderful. I'll put them on my supplies list. What are they called? Command hooks, command strips. These are awesome for hanging stuff. They're good for even hanging heavy stuff. But I'm using a small one because these are real light, so I don't need a lot. And when I give it as a gift, I'm pretty much giving them everything they need to hang it. So I will just attach these on the back. And that's it. You'll probably, you need something to cut with, and you need an iron and an ironing board. So let's get started. Are you ready to head over to the craft table? Okay guys, we're going to get our fabric here. Now if you have ribbon, you're going to skip this part because you won't need it. But I need some long strips of fabric, and I'm going to actually cut this in half so it's the width I want. I don't want my fabric being too wide for my project. Now, depending on how you make these, you may need a wider width, and you might need more length. What I've seen is it looks like a lot of people are wrapping it all the way around and then doing the cross by wrapping it completely, kind of like you'd wrap a present. We're not going to do it that way because I feel like it's a waste of fabric, because the back doesn't need to look pretty. Make sure to cut off your selvage, of course. Alrighty, so I have 2 long strips now. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. Okay guys, so we're moving on to our next step. What we need to do is finish off these edges. Now, we could serge the edges, or we could sew them by turning and turning again, and then stitching this down. I am going to do a little bit of a no-sew method here because I've got plenty of sewing posts, and I know some of you don't sew, so I want to give you something you guys can do. So we're going to start just by ironing our fabric flat to make sure we have, a good start here. Now, this is a piece of fabric that, one of the reasons we don't need to finish it is because we're not going to be washing this. So we don't need to worry about, worrying about fraying as much. However, you may be worried about fraying in terms of what it looks like on your wood and as your cross. So, a way to get around that, and what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to fold my edges over and I'm going to iron them down. This will mean that they will be hidden behind the cross shape and not show up in the finished product. So you are using your fabric like I am here. You'll see that I have 2 options. I can put this on using glue, and I can put this on using staples. Now, this particular wood, the staples are actually going through, but they're not going through all the way. So seeing that gets covered up, I'm going to use that because it's really quick. You can do this staple, and then put something along the middle.
For my lace cross, I just wrapped it around and tied it. And you can see here I actually messed up and I moved the horizontal cross up a little bit. And that's that. That's very easy.
Okay guys, we are finished our crosses, and again, if you're doing this with me, you can see, I mean, it's really easy. It's an awesome gift, especially for someone that is going to hang something like this on their wall. So we have our first one, and then we have our second one. So you can also decorate them. Some people add like a little quote or a verse from the Bible in one of the corners. I didn't like that because I kind of like the plain look, honestly. I just like the simplicity of it. I think they're really pretty. I don't want them to be too busy. But again, it's whatever you want to do with them. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and check out my email newsletter as well if you want to get free printables and that sort of thing. So that's it. If you make them, link them up at Show and Tell on DIYDanielle.com. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.